Hello. Katie messaged me and was like, aren't you starting at 7? And I was like, no. I'm starting at 8. So
it's a good thing because I finished the book at 7:30.
Excellent.
Nice time. Yes. Oh gosh.
Before we get started, sorry, the spot where Theo hit me is like throbbing. I like don't understand. It's been like a week, and I'm just like, okay. Anyway, we are going live on all 3 of our channels at once. So if you comment somewhere and you don't see the comment, I'm so sorry. We can see all of them, but
this will be the last one like this until January.
Yes.
And January will be different from this month too. So
yes, turns out doing 2 books a month is hard.
Yeah. So I think it would have been okay if we didn't do sprints also.
Yeah.
But like
But I like what we're doing for January. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we get started, this is the book we're talking about. Bring your prop. Nice. Lexi, do you want to tell us what Stay Awake is about since you literally just finished it?
You know that doesn't mean anything.
I know, that's why I'm making you do it.
Okay, so we are following what is her name?
No idea.
And she wakes up in the back of a taxi and she doesn't know who she is or how she got there. I mean, where she is. Yes, where she is. She knows who she is, which is one of my favorite tropes. Anyway, that's not part of the synopsis. So she finds like these written with pen like on her hands that say "Stay awake," and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, without getting too spoilery, like that is the synopsis. That is what I went into it knowing.
Yeah, there's like some crimes that start happening and she starts to think that like she might be involved because she can't remember anything.
Correct.
But yeah.
Hello. Okay. So this is going to be especially hard to talk about without spoilers. Yeah. So what we're going to do for non-spoilers is we're just going to go over our star rating and why the star rating, and then I think we should just go into spoilers because how we can't do this.
Yeah.
Okay. As always, Monica, you're first.
Oh, also, do you want to talk about if you've read from this author before? Also, in the comments, let us know if you've read from this author.
Yeah, that's a good one. So this is my second Megan Golden. The first one was Night Swim, which I still think about and think is like one of the best thrillers I have ever read. It's just a good one. So this is my second Megan Golden.
This is also my second, and Night Swim. And oddly enough, I listened to the audiobook for both of them.
Yeah, me too.
And only the audiobook without the physical. So
yeah, I did with Night Swim. It was really, I wasn't expecting the podcast feature, which was just like so good.
Yeah. This is my third. I've read The Escape Room, Night Swim, and obviously this one. But I did read The Night Swim first, and then I read The Escape Room.
Okay. And yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Monica?
Yeah.
Please go.
So I'm giving it 4 stars. I think I would have given higher, but I did not read the physical book, and listening to the audiobook was so confusing with the jumping between timelines.
Yeah,
I absolutely did not keep it straight in my head. There were times where I was like halfway through a chapter and then realized, oh, I think this is like 2 years ago. Like I had absolutely no idea, but I was still able to understand what was happening.
I saw that earlier and I was
like, Kaylee.
If I had read it physically, it would have been 5 stars.
Interesting. Did you read the author's note?
I did not. I started to, and then I was like, oh well.
There was no author's note in the
it, And she was like, it was a structurally challenging novel to write for a variety of reasons, not least because it was written from a perspective of an amnesiac. So in short, I chose the worst possible time to write it. And I think that's why she, like, it goes back and forth. And I was just like, it is so.
I think, and Michelle, you've brought this up, the narrators sound too similar.
Yes.
So, like, it was really easy. Sorry, I just saw Kaylee's rating.
The narrators sound exactly the same.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
It was
okay, Michelle,
so
what did you give it? Because
I gave it 4 stars as well.
Okay.
Yes, I enjoyed it. Also, I only gave the Night Swim 4 stars as well. I feel like something happens. It's either the writing or I feel like it's the follow through that doesn't make it a full 5 stars. And I felt that way about the Night Swim as well. So I've given them both 4 stars.
I also gave this 4 stars.
Wow!
So this is
the first time you're in agreement.
Our most successful pick.
Wow.
Like,
Kaylee, I have to know because we are getting much positive feedback with this one, and then there's Kaylee, and she's like, "Nah, 2.5."
Is it Kaylee that was annoyed with the main character? There was somebody that said they didn't like this because the main character was like dumb.
I can't remember if it was Kaylee or Katie. It was
this was a while ago that somebody said it. So it wasn't Katie because she just read it.
Yeah, you're right. Hold on. I like this one better than Night Swim. I thought it was so fast paced, and actually I didn't get confused. Good for you. It took me a minute, but if I didn't have the book in front of my face, I never would have gotten it because, in my opinion, the narrators sounded too much the same.
Yeah,
it was not a good choice for either of them, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was you.
Yeah, I remember you kind of sort of talking about it with us, but you also didn't want to spoil us. I remember that.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, it wasn't twisty enough. Okay, I say I don't need my thrillers to be like twisty. I guess I enjoyed my time reading and listening to it, and that's all I really cared about.
So, yeah, we talked about this kind of this weekend, Michelle. Just like I used to, and if it didn't have like a crazy plot twist or like whatever, I was like, this is terrible. Well, not terrible, but like I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
But now I've kind of moved away from needing that to be the only thing that like makes me enjoy a thriller. So also this is like one of my favorite tropes. So
yeah, I thought it was good. I talked about this a little bit before. I think it was yesterday on Sprints. I honestly can't remember. Every day is the same, but every time she woke up, it was repetitive, and like she falls asleep a lot because she's trying to stay awake, right? So she's so tired, and then every time she woke up, she's in like these dire circumstances, and she's like, "Where am I?"
It didn't bother me.
I don't know. I felt like it was too many times.
It was too many times. I mean, clearly I didn't give it 5 stars.
Yeah, me too.
But oh, hang on. I didn't mean to take this away, but that was just for in between. I don't know what I was saying. I don't know.
Okay. We all gave this 4 stars. If you want to let us know what you gave it in the comments, everyone has done that. We've gotten a mix, but the lowest has been 2.5.
Yes.
But we have all given it 4. This is like the one time we've all been on, I think. Maybe the appeal as well. Who knows? The main character was so dumb in a way that wasn't fun for me. I found it repetitive, and that's kind of how I feel like this is my main gripe with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there could have been more that happened. But like my thing is the main character being dumb does not bother me.
Yeah.
In like anything, especially in something like this. Like if I woke up and literally did not know anything except for the fact that like I knew that I existed, I'd be dumb too.
I'd be so dumb. Look, I'm dumb now. So it's like, what do you expect me to do if I have amnesia? Yeah, I do. I really liked how like it started off with a bang though. Like we wake up and she's holding a knife and it's just like, okay. So
also for later, I do have books that I would recommend if you liked this one.
Cool. We're gonna get spoilers really fast. Hold on. I found lately that I love. Yeah, I really liked it. That's what I liked, but I don't know. It's hard to. I just felt it was repetitive, I guess. Like I didn't care that like she obviously her whole thing is she's going to forget, but I felt like it happened maybe like 3 too many times.
Yeah. Or something different should have happened when she woke up. And like she should have behaved differently or something. Like it was just
like spice it up.
I get that.
That like smokes everyone out. It's okay. I mean, I understand. I personally like I thought it was a good time, but there are also things that like we can talk about in a minute that I love
this is so true.
Yeah, I didn't mind that she was she had like a ton of shit going on, you know? Like I feel like I'd be freaking out too. Yes, I was talking about this. I did not like it at all. And we were talking about how both of the narrators sounded very similar to each other. So it was hard to figure out whose narration we were in when she would wake up suddenly and kind of restart. I felt like we were experiencing, I definitely would feel confused, be like, oh no, did she fall asleep again? And then whoever she was talking to was like, oh fuck, did you fall asleep again?
Kaylee,
I loved that.
You love Project Hail Mary? I mean, I know that's not amnesia, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
True.
It like literally starts out the same way.
Yeah.
Except no knives, but you know.
And also space.
And space, of course. You're right. Okay. Anything else for the non-spoiler section?
No.
All right, let's do this. Oh, let me get the right banner. All right, Kaylee, go for it.
I will say on like the way that when she would wake up and people were like, did you fall asleep again?
Yes!
I loved the bartender and how he was like, yeah, she comes in here like every day and it's like she doesn't know what's going on. I was like, I didn't think something was up. Like this bartender is just like, I don't know what's wrong with her. Like,
yeah. I remember the bartender's name was Harry for obvious reasons. So that's the only character's name I remember.
Yes, I think this book should have been shorter.
I agree. I kind of felt the same way with Night Swim, and I feel like she like kind of loses it in the middle. Like she knows where she wants to go with her books, and then like it gets like convoluted. I don't know how else to describe it, but like I'm always gonna read her books. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep this. This is like, besides Upgrade, this is the only one I'm keeping. That's okay. That's true. I see what you're saying.
I think Hannah's comment makes a lot of sense.
Hold on, not there yet.
Yeah, this one's hard because like in Project Hail Mary and like ones that it's not repeated amnesia, like they're obviously going to progress. But in something like this, like what Hannah said, they can't really progress when they wake up and they're in the same exact state. But I get not liking that part, but also like I don't think she could have been any different as a character.
Yeah.
Like she couldn't have woken up and magically figured out a way to remember everything.
And especially like resetting from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I'm a completely different person than who I was 2 years ago. So like that would be super trippy. That would be awful, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bartender was awesome. Yeah. I really like that character.
It was just crazy. Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. It was just crazy that she had like an entire, like everybody in the book knew, and they were like, oh, here's this key with your name on it. Here's this thing. Like everybody had things like set in place to help her, which like I know there are nice people, but the fact that many people, I don't know.
Except the bartender that she saw every single day.
I also want to talk about the journal because like that was like her lifeline, right? To like move forward every time she woke up. But I like why
she didn't have it with her all the time.
I know, but like why would you immediately like see your journal and think to like look at it every day when you wake up? Like I felt that was like flimsy.
Yeah, unless she carried it with her, which like she woke up without her purse, like she didn't have her stuff with her anymore.
But she did bring it, and then what's his face burned it.
Yeah, so like during the part we watched, she didn't have it, but
yeah, but she woke up without it, so she couldn't have read it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it feels like, yeah, like that was the problem, but then it did show up again later, didn't it?
It was burnt.
He never had it. The guy burned it.
Yeah, he burned it.
So it was like
that in the time
other characters mentioned, like, "Oh, hey, where's your journal?" And she's like,
"Yeah,
what the heck are you talking?"
And like, I just felt like that was so flimsy. Like, I don't know. I did not believe that. But you know, yeah. Oops, sorry. Everything. Yeah, she couldn't have, and that's why trope itself, because it's the trope that makes her. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I get like the repeated thing.
Yeah, this is how I felt about the journal. But like, if no one told me to look at the journal, I'd never look at the journal. You know, like that would not be my first thought. I'd be like, where the fuck am I? Get me out of here. Not, oh, let me check this journal. That many people knowing about it, her never getting help and never going to the doctors. I know she went to see her friend at the hospital, but she wasn't going to get her head checked. Yeah. And then Ted, wow, I remembered another name. Ted was like taking her to a doctor, but it wasn't like urgent. Like if you woke up every day and you couldn't remember anything from the past 2 years, wouldn't you be checked in somewhere? You would absolutely be checked into the psych ward, ma'am.
Yeah, well, I think up until the point where we started following her, she did have her journal and was like doing better than what we experienced. So maybe like up until that point, it didn't seem as like pressing of a matter because like she was functioning,
I guess. But like if my ex-fiance came to my current engagement party, I'd like get her.
She was invited.
Yeah, she was invited.
But when the detectives were doing the investigation, they were like finding out that she had this problem. So like people knew.
Yeah. I just
but
felt
how was
like
she not contained? Like how was it not?
Yeah, also
like if so many people knew enough to tell the detectives.
Yeah, and she had her 2 people murdered. And someone was coming after her, and they weren't like, oh, let's keep her safe in a hospital. Well, I guess who's in the hospital is her killer. So I guess the author was like, well, I can't put her in the hospital because then that's an easy way to kill her.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's not like it's not feasible for her to be out and about.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think this book was realistic at all.
No, but that's fine. But like from like talking about it right now, like we know that she should be contained somewhere. Like you cannot.
Yeah, and I understand how people would not like this if like that was just all they could think about.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just like, oh, who cares? This is what's happening. So like I'll just go with it. But like some people don't want to just go with it.
And that's right, like all over your walls and all over your hands. And we're gonna make sure that we get you all these keys and things, but like the doctors don't need to be involved.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's like fiction, but imagine if this was like your friend. You'd be like, you cannot be out in the world, ma'am. She keeps trying to hide her amnesia. Like, bro, why are you trying to hide it? Yeah. Yeah. I do feel like this isn't a perfect book. It's not the best thriller I've ever read. There's some things that absolutely 100% I'm talking about now and they don't make sense. But like, I still had a good time. You know, I'm like, yeah, this makes total sense.
Yeah, the thing with this one is I feel like I don't have much to say about it because like the same things did keep happening.
And happening. But at least like we got to the resolution. Do you want to tell everyone what you said to me before we came on?
Oh.
No, I'm just gonna expose you.
No, that's why I asked you beforehand. I couldn't remember why the heck killed the first two in the first place because I forgot that he was dating Amy.
Yeah, she was like, so wait, why did the murders happen in the first place? And I'm like, what murders? Because I thought you meant Ted.
No, I know what,
you were like Amy, and I was like, because they were cheating. And
yeah,
like,
I knew.
well, yeah, but why does this guy matter? And I'm like, he was dating Amy.
Yeah, that's just one of those things that like I'm so bad at remembering how people are like related to each other at the beginning, and that just like seemed like something that I just didn't care about.
See,
So
I never guessed what I wasn't like trying to figure out because that's just not how I read. But then when it was like brought up, like everything was exposed, I was like, that was kind of good because he was like quiet and like seems like he really liked Amy and like all this stuff. So I thought it was like a good reveal.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And also the fact that I just remembered that like Amy had that conversation about how like she's like, oh yeah, I think I'm probably gonna break up with him soon.
Yeah.
But like if she had just broken up with him,
yeah,
would he have killed them? Or because then like they wouldn't be together anymore.
The story is don't cheat on people so you don't get murdered.
Yeah, just that's the moral of
only
the
reason. The only reason to refrain.
Yeah, she was very. I mean, I would be too if every time I woke up I was confused out of my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Hi, Katrina. I like trying to figure out who was after her. I didn't guess it. I never try to guess. So I was just like, just cruising, just reading, and I was like, okay, yeah. So I did know who he was.
I knew who he was. I knew he was the doctor. Like I knew exactly who he was, and I knew that the other two were cheating, but I just forgot their specific.
Yeah. So it's very important to know that he was Amy's boyfriend.
Yeah. So like at the end, I knew that he murdered Ted to cover up the other two that he did, but then I was like, why did he kill them in the first place?
And I thought it was obvious that they were cheating.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I feel like they made that obvious.
Oh yeah.
And like since that was so obvious, I feel like maybe it should have been obvious to me that it was the doctor, whoever his name was. Brett. That's a good.
Like if I would have sat down after the first like 30% and been like, okay, what do I think is going on? I could have figured it out, but like I just
that's not how
I didn't have time for that.
So true.
Yeah.
I was too focused. What?
Keep going.
I was gonna say that's just like I don't want to do that when I read because I feel like it takes all the fun out of it.
Yeah.
For me,
I was too busy trying to focus on the timeline because I was listening. So I didn't have time to think about anything about what was going on because I was so like, wait, when are we right now?
It's so funny because like it was obvious that they were cheating. So then I feel like it probably was obvious that it was Brett, but like that's just not how I read. So then when it was like, oh, it's Brett, I was like, oh, true. So, but that's not how I I like the fancy shoe pattern. Yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and like
it
said that Amy like goes and buy these special shoes for him and they're super expensive, and then she like sees the dots and I spelled in.
Yeah, so whenever it's like revealed that Amy bought the shoes, I was like, well, that's an expensive gift for a coworker. Because I'm dumb.
Yeah, I don't really connect to anyone, and it's definitely hard to connect to whatever the main character's name is because she's so confused the whole time. So you're confused, But I feel like it kept me on my toes, even though at like towards the end I was just like, oh my god.
I don't need to connect to a character either.
No, that's not how I read either. I'm here for the ride and the ride alone. I do wish the audio was better. That's a personal preference, but like overall, I had a good time listening to it. Yeah, it was entertaining. I feel like a better audiobook because they sounded exactly the same.
Yeah,
and maybe like 3 times less of her rigging up. That would have been like maybe a perfect 5 stars for me. Yeah. Can we talk about this hoe head note? Yes, it was so obvious. Like I feel like Amy and Marco were not trying to hide it at all. Like Marco barely talked to the bitch. Like, oh, I'll catch
every
you
canceled plan. Every plan was canceled.
And then Amy was always working, and it was very obvious. But it's so funny. Like I just said this, it's so obvious that I like understood that they were cheating, but I didn't understand it.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
So like, why are we like this? I don't know.
But she was smart enough to like figure out that Marco was using her for like career gains.
Mm-hmm.
But not smart enough to see what else was.
But like, would you?
I guess she was blinded by that.
Yeah. Would you want to believe that your best friend and roommate was cheating with your boyfriend? Like, would you?
I mean, no, absolutely not.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where you like might see the signs and you're like, no, there's no way.
There's no way.
I'm making like I'm paranoid. Like I'm making it up.
Exactly. Like there's absolutely nothing happening, and then everyone dies. This book made me feel pretty tense, and I love when thrillers do that. Yeah. I just like so I started it last week, and I got like 100 pages in like 2 sprints, and then I didn't touch it for a week, but that was like a mental health thing and not like the books thing, because I finished the whole thing yesterday. Yeah, I read like over 200 pages in one day because I didn't want to stop reading it. So like that's
this book isn't even that long. So why was the audiobook so long?
I don't know. Also, I just felt like it was so slow. Like 3 times speed was slow.
Yeah, I could have listened to it faster.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see the killer coming either. Good. I felt bad because her ex clearly cared about her so much that he was so sweet. How far? Yes, Ted. Ted was like the best character in this whole thing, and I'm really sad that he ended up dying. Poor Ted. Yeah, because he did care about her. Like, how confused would you be if they came to your engagement party and then like you have to start helping them? Oh god.
Yeah.
I think it was more that she didn't think Amy would betray. Yes.
That
is exactly like your best friend and your roommate. There's no way I would automatically go, exactly. Right? My mind wouldn't ever go there. Yeah. Didn't she even say that she didn't care if he was because like we don't get a lot of Marco except that like he keeps canceling plans on her and stuff.
Yeah. And the plans he does keep are business meetings.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
feel like if anything, as far as the like she didn't want to think that it was Amy. Like I'm surprised that she didn't at least consider that Marco was cheating on her in general, not necessarily to connect it to Amy specifically.
True. Yeah.
Because like in her eyes, like Amy was always like that. Like Amy was always very dedicated to like her work. So she wouldn't necessarily see that as weird.
And she said that they hated each other. Remember? She said this a couple times.
Oh,
she said, my boyfriend and my best friend hate each other.
Yeah. And Amy always wanted her to break up with him.
Yeah. Can we talk about the whole stalking thing or like stalking thing? Because I don't know if I like that.
Okay, so my problem isn't that the stalking bothered me, but like wouldn't she recognize his voice? Because he like called her on the phone all the time. Yeah. And it was like somebody that she knew before the 2-year thing happened. It's not like he's a new person. So like after somebody, even if they're disguising their voice, I feel like at some point I would have been like, wait, you sound familiar. You know?
Well, she did say, I feel like there was a point where she said the voice was familiar, but she just had no idea. Like everything was.
I think that was like at the very end.
Okay.
Because that, I remember like
saying that. But I'll be like, without remembering anything, I feel like I also would be like, I could probably hear my mom's voice and be like, "Who are you?" Like,
Rip Ted. Oh my god, I said the same exact thing the first night we were reading this on sprints, that she like pauses between every single word, and I don't understand. Also, I don't want to say your whole thing, but what's your first name? Because you were saying excellent points and I want to say your name. maybe he paid someone to call, like he paid someone to stalk her the first time. That's a good theory. That's a good theory.
True.
That definitely could have happened. It could have been that guy that they found. Hold on, my cat keeps going off. Pause. Okay. It's not like meowing, but it keeps giving me alerts that it's like, hey, do you want to do things?
So what were your issues with the stalking?
The stalking, when Amy and Marco were still alive, and she thought it was that waiter. So like, I don't know the point of that.
I don't know the point of that part either. Yeah.
Other than to throw us off or to try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's just to throw us off, then that's completely fine. But I was just like chilling, talking about something else, and I was like, can we talk about this fucking stalking? Because it made no sense. Like, he drugged her with chocolate, right?
Wait, who was at the restaurant that night? Was it a double date?
It was a double date. It was
that to show us how awful Brett was? Because wasn't he the one that was like, let's blow this pop stand?
No, it was.
Or was it Mark?
It was someone else. It was, she went and got lunch with him. Remember, she woke up at one point and she was back in New York and she went and got lunch with him and he like got a sandwich and then she left the restaurant.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right.
I don't know what either.
I just like don't understand the point of the stalking. Yes, cops suck.
The stalking was because he wanted to, like, he was trying to figure out how much she knew.
I don't know. What was the point of the stalking? Is it just like,
I'm pretty sure, like, because she was there for the murders at the first one, so he needed to make sure that she didn't gain her memory back and remember it was him.
Okay.
And then he found out that Ted was helping her kind of try to do this investigation.
Okay.
Like, more like keeping tabs on her.
Okay. Yeah. I just like, I kind of forgot about it until we were really talking about it again, and I was like, wait, what is the point of that? I think he planned the stalking so she would look crazy to the police. Okay.
Also true. Because she
definitely.
They did not trust her. Or, like, they didn't believe her one bit.
And it did happen while they were still alive. Because Amy came home and what's her face was like, what are you cooking? What did you put in the oven? And then did you get my dry cleaning?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I'm so confused. Anyway, that's fine. Sherry, hi.
Oh, are you in the Discord?
Are you in the Discord?
Because there's a Sherry in the Discord.
Hi. Thanks for telling. I can probably remember. You don't have to change it if you don't want to. I just don't want to be like, what's up, BSBLH, you know? I mean, I can, I will, but
yeah, well, I don't understand that.
I think Brittany is right, and that it's so she would seem like she's crazy to the police, and then she went crazy and killed them.
He also was probably planning on pinning the murder on her in the first place.
He was. So I think it was all like a setup.
Yeah.
For the police. Yeah.
Which her taking the knife really did not help her case there.
For sure. I thought I wanted him to be the killer, the rich guy whose girlfriend wanted. Yes. Yeah. I thought it, and they definitely went to lunch at some point, and she was like feeling like, oh God, what is happening? Because he was asking her, like, how are you dealing with everything? And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she gets like, and she just leaves the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Brittany is right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome.
Nice.
I was like, I know that name.
I can't remember the Sherry. I can also say BSBLH if you want. It's up to you. Yeah, I guess like now that I'm talking about it, I did not like love this whole stalking thing. But if Brittany is right and it's to like make her look crazy already for the police, then I understand the motivation more.
Yeah. Also because it ties into prior to the first murders, it was like when she thought someone was she thought someone was breaking in, and the police were like, we can't do anything because like it could have been your cat.
Right.
That
was the dumbest thing.
Which didn't make any sort of sense, but because that was like recorded that she went to the police for those things and they did nothing, it proves that like she like she's had this happen before, but like nobody believed her, so was she making it up all along? I don't know. Like it contributed to the cops believing she could be crazy.
Katie, I definitely forgot this. So Z and Q ended up being the same person. And I think it was just like another thing to...
It was just another red herring.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, so could this creepy artist be the killer for whatever reason? But
they didn't have another role, right? Like it was literally they were just a creepy...
Yeah. I think I did like who ended up being the killer. Like, obviously, it made the most sense. Yeah. And he's a bad man. And I feel like the stalking when Amy and Marco were alive was like the only thing I'm not like 100% certain of that he was doing. But I felt like Brett was a good killer. Like, that made the most sense. Oops. Sorry.
Yeah. I also think that like there's as an author, not that I'm an author, but like you have to have people besides just the main characters, or like it's gonna be so obvious. Like if our only main character, or if the only characters were like Liv, Ted, the two dead people, and then Brett, like
and she also got someone else fired who like touched her thigh, who they brought up a couple times. So like I feel like we were getting a lot of that, and I feel like we were all like almost getting the same amount of all these people as we were Brett, because we barely knew Brett until it was like said.
But we had enough on all
he
of
was
them.
dating what's her name, so like
yeah, you didn't. So yeah, I feel like it was like a good mix of, okay, so this is a doctor, he doesn't seem bad, like he lost Amy, because he like she goes to the hospital and he's like, okay, let me like tell you what's happening, and then she runs away again. That's like all she does. So like
she ran away?
Like, what? No, I don't even know her name. Liv?
It is Liv, yes.
Okay. I feel like it's just a lot of like waking up and being confused and running away from men. So I would run away from men as well. Totally feel that.
For sure.
For sure.
I feel like I don't have anything else to talk about.
I feel like overall this was a good one for me. Obviously, it's not a 5-star, but like I had a good time. I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, me too.
I would read it again.
Yeah. I wish I had
thought the cat.
True.
I
we
just
never actually found out what happened to it, right?
I don't think we do.
To what?
It's just
the
gone.
Cat?
The cat. Her cat was like taken to a shelter, but
yeah, that's really sad.
I just reread a book, and there's a dog in it, and I couldn't for the life of me remember what happened to that dog. And then I was so tense. I was like, oh my god, what's going on? So it's sad about the cat. But yeah. I felt like overall this was a good one though.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I like Megan Golden. I'm excited to see what is coming out next. Also, she's from Australia.
Yeah, I saw that.
But she like sets all her stuff in America.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Question, did we ever find out or like why? So when Ted was murdered, it was Brett.
Yeah.
But he painted "Wake Up" on the window. Like, do you think did he do that just so it would look like it was Liv that did it?
Yes.
Because like I guess he just didn't think about the fact that like they could do testing to figure out that it.
No, he definitely didn't. But he 100%, he did everything to make it actually was said.
Yeah.
Because I reread it twice trying to figure out why he murdered them in the first place. But he set everything up to look like it was her because he wanted to also pin the previous murders on her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically he was doing everything in his power to make it seem like it was her from the start.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm like reading it and I was like, the whole like height thing, I guess I've watched enough crime shows in my life to be like, well, duh. Like, of course they'd figure out that it wasn't her if he's so much taller. And like the angle, like to me, that seemed like if you really wanted to plan out a murder and you were smart enough to like to go through as much as he did to make this seem like she would have done it, I'm like,
and to be a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't think about this? You didn't think about the angle of like the brush strokes or whatever? Like,
He also stabbed her with the wrong hand, so like he's not.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like he's just trying to like get it over with and not really thinking through.
He didn't think it through, and you know what? It came back to bite him in the butt.
Sure did. I did like. I know we're almost done, but I like the cop Holiday.
Oh yeah,
I thought she was cool.
I like that she was very open about like I don't want it to be her, but when she thought that once the evidence lined up, she was like,
yeah, fact.
yeah. Like I was really holding out, but then as soon as it flipped back, she was like, okay, let's keep it an open mind here.
And she was really rooting for her to be innocent, which I liked because I feel like they're like, nah, definitely guilty.
Does anyone have any recommendations for books to read if you liked this one? I do, but I don't know if anyone else has.
Let me think.
So this one I liked less than Stay Awake, but I mean the main character is also kind of dumb too. But The It Girl by Ruth Ware, it just like a lot of things. It just like gave me these vibes, and not because it's the same narrator. But this one is very long. I gave this 3 stars, but I also read it after my favorite book of the year, so like I think I would have given this 4 stars.
I think Kaylee gave it 4 stars.
Yes.
It is. It is. I looked it up because I liked it so much, and I was like, I have definitely. She does a lot of thrillers and sci-fi. That narrator for Holiday. When she was drugged, why wouldn't you go to the hospital and get tested?
I don't think she realized she was drugged.
Yeah,
like completely. And then the other recommendation that I have that I think is way better, Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Julian McAllister. This is like a time travel thriller. So the woman, I feel like I like them both about the same. But this one is following a woman who witnesses her son murdering someone and then every day wakes up the previous day. So she's not the one that has to figure out like where she is, well, initially, but then she's like trying to get other people to believe her. This is one of my favorite thrillers of the year, so really like that one. Gave me similar vibes.
Cool. I don't have any suggestions. I haven't read enough. So
I would read The Night Swim as well if you.
I love The Night Swim.
Yeah.
I do think I like The Night Swim more than Stay Awake.
Me too. I gave that one 5 stars.
Yeah, but just like a little bit. Like I feel like this is, in my opinion, not Katie or Kaylee's, a solid low thriller. You know? Had a good time.
And comparing the two, because I only listened to the audiobook for both of them, The Night Swim was a lot easier to follow just listening, which I think helped me enjoy that one a little
bit. And the audiobook, like there's a podcast section for The Night Swim, and it sounds like a podcast, which I always think is a cool feature of that audiobook.
Yeah.
I liked The Escape Room, but The Escape Room is a bad title. Like it makes you think that it's going to be like more of a game and stuff like that, and it's not. But I still enjoyed it.
Cool.
But it's probably my least favorite of the 3. Do we want to talk about the next couple months?
Yes, let's talk about them.
Okay, we can talk about them for the ones that are going to be on our channel, if you want. Browser. Thank you. So for next month, for October, we are going back to hosting sprints on one channel and then live show on one channel. So I don't know who's hosting sprints yet, but I will be hosting the live show. And that will be for Echo by Thomas Olde-Hevold. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. This is a like survival horror. It's set in the woods. And I think this has something to do with this is another amnesia situation. But I don't think it's a repeated thing. So like he wakes up and has amnesia, but then he doesn't like every time he goes to sleep, like doesn't forget everything. So this will be on my channel probably at the beginning of November, because October is going to just be like a lot. So this is what we're reading for October.
What's the name of mine? Is it American Royalty? Look at me. Okay. Yeah, I don't have it. It's over there. But November, we are doing American Royalty by Tracy Livesay. I have met this author and she was really cool. And I told her that we were going to be reading it for November. And she was like, good luck with the smut. And I said, excellent. So if you like smut, please, you're welcome. If you don't, you're welcome. Also, can't wait for y'all to read it. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Sarah. Welcome to like the end. And then December, and I had to look it up because I didn't know the order. Look, you have it anyway. Magic Lies and Deadly Pies. Baking and mystery and
death.
Revenge.
Yes.
It's like a bunch of women that there one woman who like bakes pies but also helps people get revenge on like men that had wronged that women. So
like a feminist cozy mystery.
Yeah. So yeah.
Very excited.
Yep. And then we'll be changing things up in January. We'll have announcement videos that go out in December at some point, but we are not going to do 2 books a month, right? We're not going to be doing 2 books a month anymore because it was just too much, but we do have something special planned so that we will have 1 month of each of us hosting individually, and then we will have a month of still doing like everything on all of our channels, but we have something planned for that. But that's a surprise.
Stay tuned for more.
Also, if you are here and you don't know about Halloween, because it is being brought up now, there's a readathon starting tomorrow that Michelle and I and 3 other booktubers are hosting. It's a horror and thriller readathon for the month of October, but it's just on the weekends. So there's information about that on Michelle and I's channels if you want to know more. That's it.
That's exciting.
That's it. That was good. I feel like this one was easy and hard to talk about at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Where do you rank this?
I don't know. I was thinking about this today. I don't know. Let me sleep on this.
I still think I like the Twisted ones more and then this one, but this is definitely in my top 2.
This is, yeah, I'm having a hard time between Upgrade and this one being
Oh yeah,
one.
you did give that 5 stars.
I know, because I liked this story better. Like, this was way more fast-paced than Upgrade, but I think the writing was better in Upgrade. So that's what,
yeah.
Like, that's where I am. Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I think if I had read it physically, this one would have been an easy like top of my list. But because I only listened and I was moderately confused for a lot of the timeline, obviously not enough to like, I still loved it and like listening was still very enjoyable because I gave it 4 stars. But I think if I read it physically, I would have enjoyed it more. So I think it's probably up there with probably the Twisted ones. I think I did Twisted ones and Upgrade pretty equally. So they're all kind of equal.
Yeah.
This dog.
Yeah, I just feel like the writing was so good in Upgrade, but I feel like I liked this story better. So, like, what do I do? Because I love Blake Crouch. I don't know. It's fine. Thanks for coming, Katie. We will let you know probably on Instagram and in videos coming out in December what is happening for the rest of the year. Yeah. That's it. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Thanks for coming. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.